Do you have some 6x6 pattern paper that you want to use up without adding a bunch more to your scrap pile? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today I'm using 6x6 paper busting template for 5x7 cards number 10, which means there are 9 other ones already available at JessCrafts.com that let you use a 6x6 paper and create a 5x7 card without any patterned paper scraps. And then this template is the first link in the video description. You can sign up for my email and you will get your template for free. This is going to make 2 cards, 2 5x7 cards without any scraps. Some of the templates will only make 1 card, and this will leave a little bit of extra white space on the top and bottom. So if you personally prefer not to have quite as much white space, I do have a video where I share some ideas for how to make that white space a little bit more interesting, and I'll link that in the video description today. So we're gonna start with 1 piece of 6x6 paper. This is single-sided patterned paper from Lawn Fawn. They're Sprinkles, Stripes and Sprinkles collection. You'll see kind of why I chose this a little bit later. I'll talk about that decision. But I liked the idea of showing some templates that work well with single-sided paper, as I know some people only have single-sided paper in their collection. So we're gonna cut our 6x6 paper into 2x6 inch strips because we're gonna need a lot of 2x2 inch squares. And then one of those 2x2 inch squares is going to be cut in half so that each card gets a 2x1 inch strip as well. So we'll just continue to cut like that. I did recently find this patterned paper pack at my local arts and crafts thrift store. And if you've never heard of one of those and you live in the US or Canada, I have a list of some arts and crafts thrift stores. I think it's like 50 plus at this point, and I'm always taking new suggestions if you know of one. I put dedicated arts and crafts thrift stores or creative reuse centers, or there's different names for them, but like rather than just being a sort of general shop, it specifically dedicates to collecting and reusing creative materials. So I'll link that for anyone who's interested, because it can be a great way to, you know, if you're on a budget, to really build out your supplies. So I need 4 2x2 squares for each card, and then 1 of these 2x1 inch rectangles for each card. I'm gonna start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock today, and I cut it to 2 1/4 because this 2 1/4 by 11 inch is going to give me all the cardstock mats I need for 1 card with a small amount of scraps. I always suggest go to your scraps first for my cardstock mats. I know I started this video telling you there'd be no scraps. There are no patterned paper scraps. It's very difficult to not create pattern paper scraps or cardstock scraps, and I personally find it much easier to use cardstock scraps and always try to share ideas for what I would do with them. So I am going to cut out those mats now. Now, there's a good number of my sketches where you could skip the cardstock mat if you didn't want to worry about creating some cardstock scraps as well. I personally do store my scraps right in with my cardstock. So I have these, like, I think they're called job ticket holders. And so I have my scraps put right in there. And then when I go to use the same color, again, this is Hero Arts Coral, I am going to just start with those. I don't use a lot of name brand cardstock. I use a lot of like Recollections and Park Lane, but today the color that I really wanted for this project was one I could only find in that slightly more expensive brand. I do have a good collection. So like, if I find that there's a specific type of card, I buy a lot of those, like, what are they called? Variety packs at Joann's or Michael's or something like that. But then sometimes I'm not able to get the color I want, or I don't know, this case, I just really don't have anything corally in my collection, so I'll go ahead and pick one of that up from the like smaller craft companies. I like to do a mix of, the budget conscious thing and supporting the smaller companies. Okay, so this is the little scrap that is left over. And then I have the 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 piece and the 4 2 1/4 inch squares. And we're just going to attach those with some adhesive. I like to use a tape runner because I don't have to worry about it drying in between. I specifically use a Scotch Advanced Tape Glider. My understanding is that they are or might be being discontinued. I don't really know. I bought a lot of refills for it, so I'm going to use it as long as it's, you know, economical for me. But you, of course, just use whatever your favorite adhesive is. And I'm just going to center these all just by sight. I'm not really measuring anything onto their cardstock mats. And then I can flip them all over and have another round of adhesive so that we can assemble the card. And I don't know quite the order everything is going to be shared in yet, but I do have some new templates for 5x7 cards using 6x8 paper coming soon. So, you know, maybe the next video or the one before this would have shared some. But if you like 5x7 cards, I would suggest subscribing because I'm going to be giving a little bit more attention to 5x7 cards over the next few months. And you would probably enjoy seeing those videos. When you sign up for the newsletter to get a template, and then when the weekly newsletter comes out, I'm always sharing a direct link to some of my latest templates. Weekly-ish newsletter. I don't send every week, but I do include those direct links to the templates so that you don't have to continuously sign up. And also another way you can get the templates if you're like, you know, I don't want to sign up, because I have 50 templates that are 6x6 pattern paper used on A2 size cards, for instance. You don't want to sign up for all of those individually. You can go to the Etsy shop and like purchase a pack of them. And that's true of many of my designs. Just to kind of make things easier, people kind of wanted a way, can I just like download one file one time? So that's how I did that. Okay, so then I'm going to use this little embellishment today. I kind of had the idea that it'd be fun to make a card that would like go well with a gift card to like an ice cream shop for summertime, for summer gifts. It says, "You're so cool, have a great summer." And this is one of the tags that you can get in a tag pack in my Etsy shop, so you can print them out. What's cool about them is they come with the sentiment, and then they come in color like this, where I pre-chose all the colors for you. Then they come in black and white, so you can color them in yourself, and they come blank with nothing in the middle, so you could stamp your own like ice cream stamp or something else that went with it. Like you could pick like an Arctic animal or something like that, whatever suited your purposes. So I kind of like trying to have card makers in mind. What I like about this kind of thing is then also when I go to use it on a card, it is the sentiment and the embellishment all in one, so I don't have to then go find a stamp set that coordinates with it. So for those of you who find a harder time finding supplies or pretty budget-friendly prices on these, there's always a coupon code in the video description. Because sometimes, as much as it seems like, oh, then you have to print them, the economics of printing your own embellishments can really work out compared to purchasing. So in the sketch, as I'm assembling this piece, or assembling this card, it shows these to be a little bit closer together. I've spread them apart because of my embellishment today. But if you were just going to stamp a sentiment right here in the center, you could bring them back closer together. And so I'm going to add my embellishment such that the whole thing is centered. Now, if you decided, hey, I don't actually need this extra strip of pattern paper here because I have an embellishment, especially if you like, for instance, if you want to print them larger, you can, because you do get a JPEG, so you can make them as whatever size you want, or you could just print the ones that come as a PDF. So like this is the PDF size. It's good. It's a good size for a 5x7 card, but I wanted to make mine a little smaller to tie it in better with the sketch. You could just take this extra strip of pattern paper, pop it on the inside of your card or something like that. But I'm gonna just use the whole thing today, center it there, and then my card is complete. Oh, good use of a cardstock scrap, because This is resting on top of this other piece here. It's not very, it's not completely level on the back. You can always take a strip of scrap cardstock and use that to level everything off. And then our card is complete. I am doing quite a few of these, so I picked some different colors of pattern paper from that same collection, and I'll have 6 in all, but you will get to make two 5x7 cards from 6x6 paper with no scraps. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.